One, two, one, two, one, two, three, four. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody.
Good afternoon. It is Monday, July the 6th. I am Bruce Leonard. Of course, thank you for tuning in to another hour of Bruce Leonard Leans Left while it's still legal. Me and Laura are going to the Reds game tomorrow. So I'm doing the show today so that I don't have to rush everything tomorrow. And me and Laura can enjoy our day. Because it's a pain in the ass trying to rush, do a show, and then get off the air and then go down to the stadium, go to the game. It's a hassle. And she deserves better than that. so I'm doing the show today. Trump once again proving that he could ruin anything at any time. But I don't know if you've seen this. He's interfered the World Cup now. Like he hasn't pissed off the world enough. Now he's gonna inject himself into the World Cup. What you knew was gonna happen because that guy made that peace prize, made up that fake peace prize to give to him. It's like there's no bigger groveling nutlicker on the planet than this FIFA guy. You know what's funny is the last president of FIFA had to retire for being corrupt piece of shit. And what is this guy? He's a corrupt piece of shit, obviously. It's like the problem is FIFA itself. See, I think that Trump isn't responsible for anything. Trump just takes advantage of all these loopholes that are around that we somehow allowed to exist. Like, if the last FIFA president had to resign for being corrupt, then why wouldn't you be policing this guy extra hard? Unless you're not interested in keeping corruption out of your, sport. The NFL is good because the NFL runs, their shit is tight like a mafia. I mean, the NFL they know how to handle crises. They know how to, there is no, you don't see the NFL getting, investigated for rank corruption. Like the NFL shakes down money out of other people. They don't, they just make you pay a premium for their fucking services. FIFA apparently just scooping up money all over the world. I mean, I didn't realize Laura is really into everything all the time. So she's always asking questions about everything. And, I don't know everything. So I'm like, she's like, how much do they make? I'm like, I don't know. So she starts looking it up. The pot for the FIFA World Cup was like almost $1 billion. $800 million. This is the pot to pay the teams and players. This is not counting what they're making. So FIFA is obviously a gigantic money fucking sucking hole. Mega says, keep smiling. Everyone will vanish. No hate. I'm smiling even when I'm bitching about shit. I can't hate. Like, even the Patriot Front thing. Like, you see those guys marching, right? The Nazi fucks. And you're like, I mean, you could say, oh, I hate them. Yeah, I do hate them, but not enough to be like, hey! I can't, you can't let them rule your mind in this way. That's what they're trying to do. Blue Apollo says, Piers Morgan's World Cup show today, they talked about how FIFA is basically its own country. Yes! Well, I'm saying. And then she was talking about the ads on the side of the field. And I was like, it's not like a baseball game or a football game or where those ads are being seen in one country. These ads are being seen worldwide. So, they're charging a gigantic premium for those ads. The Hyundai ad with the little cars driving back and forth. That shit probably cost them $100 million or more. When you think about that kind of money, And they're like, well, it didn't take them very long to get the 800 million they needed to pay the teams, and then who gets the rest of that money? Where does it go? It goes into a fucking black hole. And even if you're skimming let's say you're just even skimming just 1% of, $10 billion, that's a lot of fucking money. Mega says, how would you have run a country? What do you mean? Like if I had my own country, like if you just said, here's a country, and you could write your own constitution and your own rules, and that's a long, complicated answer to the question if you wanted to get to it. But I would say that in a Cliff Notes version, I would have a capitalist country that was heavily regulated, but did have a free market, but had a cap size on how big these corporations could get and how much market shares that they could own. Then I would have universal health care. Education would be free. There would be no for-profit prisons. To me, for-profit prison is one of the most heinous abominations that's ever been invented on this earth, and it's 2026, and this is how we operate. To me, is unbelievable. And no one even hardly talks about it. It's becoming an accepted part of reality that we have for-profit prisons that have stocks that you can invest in, locking people up, that they can build warehouse prisons for ICE and get big government contracts, and you could get dividends off the stocks that are involved in this, locking people up. It's a heinous fucking system that should never have been. It's a like I said, it's an abhorrent cancer on the human race. It should not exist. Same as education. Education should be free and as good as possible. Healthcare should be free. Blue Pile says, how would you do taxes? See, but this is when it gets, well, you have to have taxes. I mean, if any at all. How are you going to fund your government without taxes? See, everybody, even since the beginning of time, even kings came up against that. It's like, you got to have an income. Religion, the freedom of religion. I would keep a lot of the American principles. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press. I just think that we don't take care of our people. I don't know if I told this story before, but when I was in El Paso, Texas, I walked across the border into Juarez, Mexico, because I had never been to Mexico. And I was like, it's right there. I can see it, and so I was like, I want to walk over there and see what it's like. People were like, don't go over there. It's dangerous. It's like, I want to go over there in the daytime, walk across and walk around, just see what it's like. So I walked across the border and I walked down to the park. And in the park, they had some soccer fields. There was like 3 full-size soccer fields. And at the end of the soccer field, they had a small half-size field. But, it's big. So I was like, what's going on down there? So I walked down there. I thought it was for kids. But then I got to the end, and it was old men down there playing soccer. So they built a miniature soccer field so that the elderly could still play. And it was a very striking thing to me. Like, it was one of those flashpoint moments where you're standing there and you realize, wow, American culture is soulless. We don't care about old people at all. We don't do anything. Hey, Laura, you didn't answer my text. I was worried about you. We don't think about old people at all. We shuffle them off into old folks' homes for profit. Blue Pile says, yes, taxes are a must. Have some people just don't want to get rid of it and don't understand how it works. Right? Mega Aussie says, are all humans the same? Does everyone deserve equality? Of course. Of course. I would not describe discrimination of any kind in my... See, I don't even know why that comes up. To me, in an ideal society, people should be free to be whoever they want to be. And why are we even talking about it? How does it bother you? Oh, okay, Laura. You just cleaned the carpet. Okay. I just texted, did you get home safe? Because you said it was raining. And then when I came downstairs, I texted you, did you get home safe? You didn't text me back, so I was wondering if you had slid off the road. I didn't think you did, but I said, Stuart says, who's we? You mean you. What does that supposed to mean, Stuart? What do you mean when I said we? Are all humans the same we? Why are we talking about it? Wait, no. You're going to sit here and say this, Stuart? You're a mega person. That's all mega does is talk about other people. Yes, mega. A crime done by a billionaire and a beggar should deserve the same punishment. That's it, but that's all they do. I wasn't wishing for it. I was genuinely concerned for your safety. Anyway, yes, no, crime is a crime. See, that's what I was just saying before we started veered off on this thing. Is Trump isn't responsible for anything. Trump is just taking advantage of all the loopholes that are around, and the people haven't done them because people had morals and ethics. But Trump has no morals or ethics, and if something is questionably legal, he's going to do it. And most of the time, like I said, we don't have concrete laws to prevent this from happening. And then the Supreme Court gave him absolute immunity for anything considered an official act. So any bribes he takes or any fucking schemes he makes with other countries, he could just call it an official act. Well, yes, Meg, that's what we're striving to get to, I would hope, is a world without borders, a world without inequality. The Gene Roddenberry Star Trek universe, but we're far from that, my friend. I think you could see. We are far from that. Those fucking Nazis were marching the street. These fucking guys are wearing full-length khakis, a white T-shirt with the blue, mechanic's blue, button-up fucking thing, hat on, and a mask. It's 110 degrees outside. These fucking assholes wouldn't put on a mask to prevent their neighbor from getting sick, but they'll fucking wear a mask at 110 degrees. Blue Paul says he's a businessman first, a business cutthroat. You'll get to be a billionaire after stepping on people. Yeah, but see, Blue Paul, this is what you don't get. Trump is not a billionaire. Trump is a fake billionaire. Trump's made more money since he's become president second term. He's made his whole entire life. That's like, all of his fucking shit was fake. He had lots of apartment buildings that didn't have enough tenants. And like I said, he had way more debt than he had anything else. He got all this money from inventing the crypto thing and bilking all of his fucking dumbass followers. I bet Stuart bought one of his meme coins. The fuck is a meme coin anyway? I still can't figure that out. It's like, the fuck is it? Blue Power says, I'm pro-rich people because they contribute so much taxes, but to pretend he's not a business bully, he's insane. But that's not true. They don't fucking contribute that much taxes. They use every loophole they can to not pay taxes. Elon Musk don't pay no taxes. He gets all his money from the government, and then he doesn't even pay taxes. Blue Power says, oh no, all you had to do is look at his term now. He's all for the billionaires and the corporations. And if you give him enough money, he'll unregulate your business. Megan says, maybe the truth is many don't want a world of equality, and that's true. You are correct. Like those fucking assholes, like I said, I was just talking about. The Patriot Front jerk-offs who were marching around with their Confederate flags and their masks on. They're wearing their masks because they don't want to lose their fucking jobs, or like I said, or you to see, like, oh wait, that's the sheriff of my town. Or that's your dentist, or your lawyer, or there's lots of people that pay. It's just like the Klan. The Klan was made up of a lot of people who are in the governments of towns in the South, who were lawyers, mayors, sheriffs, deputies, lawyers, like I said, doctors. It's like you could be a racist doctor. The point is that for a long time, it's not like these people just popped out of nowhere. These people have always been around, but for a long time they were in the closet. Trump has opened up the closet door and allowed them freedom. Stuart says, "Get your hand out of my pocket, get a job, and pay off the money you borrowed." What do you mean? I don't even know what you're talking about. Mega Aussie says, "A human born free from the womb of a mother, then who are others to enslave them?" Yes. Blue policy. Well, the only reason she was safe is because there's a Reuters photographer there to take pictures of it. The point of it was just to instill fear in people. There was another picture of a black guy, who was standing by the door. Did you see that? But see, this is the point. It seems like you can't put yourself. I don't understand why most white people have this innate inability to put themselves in other people's shoes. Can you imagine for a second being a black person on a train, just going to work or something, and the fucking train fills with Nazis and you're standing in the middle of 50 Nazis in the fucking train? And now you try to think about what that feels like. But see, you can't. There's this guy on the internet said, there's this fucking idiot. I don't even know his name. It's Tom something. I don't know. He keeps coming up on my feed. I call him Idiot in the Woods. He's always in the woods. But he's like trying to make some intellectual point. But you can tell he's some guy from a fucking trailer park or something. And he's like, oh, racism is... Where are you from, Mega? I'd like to know. U.S. is much better than many places. I say it all the time. Here's the deal. The idea that America is the greatest country in the world is a myth. Because it's not. I mean, really, it's not a contest, but I'm saying there's other places that you could do better for yourself, I think. I mean, if you're just a regular person, you'd rather be in a place that has universal health care, places and things that will help take care of you. This is a very cutthroat society. But anyway, the idea of America and what it should be and what it could be is the greatest thing that's ever been made on the earth for human beings, as far as liberty is concerned. But see, people don't want you to be free. The power structure doesn't want you to be free, so they sell you all these myths that you are free, but you're not. They gaslight, they bullshit. And Mega says he recently went to Connecticut. Wow, it was clean, beautiful, and calm. Yeah, New England is nice. Where are you from, though? Please tell. Blue Apollo says, I have a lot of empathy, but could you imagine the same in reverse? Because that's the average subway in a metropolitan city. Yes, but I've been there. You know what I did? I rode the fucking train and I went where I was going. They weren't dressed up like Black Panthers, all of them. That's like with fucking leather jackets on and sunglasses. They all had baseball bats like on the Warriors or something. It's like I've lived in lots of cities, had lots of trains, got on all the trains. There'd be a lot of black people get on a bus, but I rode the bus and I went about my way. That's a false analogy because you're talking about people who are in uniforms, who are espousing a specific ideology that they want to get rid of you. Stuart says, I care about my own family first. I don't give two shits about some trash people on the New York subway. Well, why do you think they're trash people? You don't know these people. Most people on the New York subway are going to work. You've obviously never been there. A lot of them got suits and ties and carrying briefcases and shit. It's not all trash people on the subway. When I was young, I told Laura the story. It's true. It was like when I was young, we ran off to New York City and was homeless for a time. And for a time, slept on the train. And you'd wake up in the morning, it's filled with people going to work. It's like, what are you talking about, Blue Apollo? See, this is when all you people that sit around in your house and read statistics and just sit on the internet all day, you don't go outside and experience real life. You know, real life isn't like what you're saying. It's not like that. It's like the people that say I shouldn't go to war. You shouldn't go to war. It's Mexico. It's dangerous. It's like it could be dangerous. It could be. That's actually fucking clever. Most people at least can't be clever. That's actually clever. Giggly Stinkfinger says Bruce Leonard Leans left. Yeah, most penises do. Like I said, at least you're clever about it. Most of these people come in with some ridiculous third grade fucking bullshit. That's immature but clever. It's like, you can be immature if you're smart about it. Blue Pop says you're right. It's worse in real life. Minnesota so blue pill, baby. I'm seeing it do a bubble. I don't know. I think maybe that George Floyd shit, like I said, altered your opinions about things. But like we had that here. I told you that years ago. We had a riot here and just burned down downtown. You know, I lived right up the fucking hill. There was a curfew for 2 days. No one could go out. So no, it ain't like we don't know nothing about it. Stuart says, am I going to make him a mod? My point is, I go downtown all the time. I went to Juarez, Mexico. They told me not to go. I walked around. I took some pictures. I got a taco. We're fucking... I walked back to El Paso and did a show that night. And when you go anywhere, it's just like the people, you see these stories and the people are like, oh, they expected to come here and for it to be so bad and horrible because, you know, all they've seen is ICE riots and ICE shooting people in the street and, you know, all this fucking shit that's going down. No Kings rallies and all, you know, you know what I'm saying? Everything that's happening. And then they come here and they're like, it's like I was saying about the average person. You know, you go on the internet, it seems like the world sucks. Same as these people only know America from TV and the media. So they come over here and then they're like, they go to Waffle House and people are like, hey, let's try waffles. And they're like, oh, this is so good. You mean 24 hours a day? You can... Like, yeah, you could get waffles and eggs and bacon 24 hours a day. Mudbutter says, most people love being scared. It's the easy way out. Like people thinking it's bad here in D.C. Stuart says, am I going to watch the game tonight? Yeah, probably. Probably. But like I said, Trump ruined that too. Trump cannot leave his... Can't leave his fucking nasty fucking hands off of anything. And it isn't even the point of if you think was that a red card or a green, you know, a yellow card or shit, you got a penalty at all. You know, that those are all arguments you can make on a sports show or whatever. That's cool. But still, the president of a country, especially one that's at war, should not be worried about what's going on in a fucking football game. That's like... Mudbutter, yeah, exactly. Trump showed up at the Knicks final and they fucking lost. It's like he fucking fucks up everything he touches. Yeah, because Belgium's pissed off now. They're probably gonna score be like 6-0. What's a fucking slaughter in soccer? Like 3-0. Yeah, that's what I said, Mudbutter. They haven't rescinded a red card since 1967. And the player that he was defending to get put back in is a birthright citizen. I don't know if you know this guy's story, right? This guy was born here because his mom was here on vacation, but she was pregnant. And then she was too pregnant that they wouldn't let her fly in the plane because they're like, you might drop this baby on the plane. So they made her stay here. She had her baby here. And then... they took him back to the UK, but he's Nigerian. So he is eligible. He's a Nigerian, a UK. I guess he has triple citizenship because he's a naturalized Nigerian citizen because his parents are Nigerian, but he was he was born in the United States, so he's a United States citizen. Then they took him immediately to the UK, where I guess they're citizens, so then they made him a citizen. Anyway, Trump would have this guy deported and sent to Seacott prison if he wasn't on the soccer team. Stewart says we can win the World Cup. You're not going to win the World Cup. Have you seen fucking Thunderfoot Targaryen that plays for the Netherlands? You're never going to beat that guy. he's a literal Viking. Mud Butter says even if the U.S. wins tonight, somehow they got to play Spain next. No, that's what I'm saying. Or Thunderfoot Targaryen eventually. I'm sorry, it's not the Netherlands. It's Denmark, I think. He's a Danish. Stewart said, I'm not rooting against him. What I'm saying is Trump soured the whole thing. Now people can't, like I said, now all you got to think about is that Trump fucking put his fucking fingers on the scale. You know, and then, see, Trump doesn't like rules or laws or, you know, if something goes against him, oh, it's rigged. It's like, and he was doing the same thing. It's like, oh, they can't let the best player not play. It would be rigged like 2020. It's like, you're so full of shit, Stuart. That's a cliche shit, too. The French are way more ballsy than we are, bro. You don't know much about the actual World War II if you believe that shit. My brother says U.S. soccer was behind it too. Mbop, yes, Mbop. No, Mbop, Messi, and that guy Thunderfoot Targaryen. He looks like a guy from the Game of Thrones. That's why I named him. I don't even know his real name now. It's like, what's his name, Laura? His real name. The guy is fucking brutal, but anyway, they all got 7 goals. So, there's 3. It's a 3-way tie for what they call it, the Golden Boot. My butter says U.S. should surrender and honor. It's the only way they could, like they did in Iran. Surrender without it. Yes, Mud Butter, Brute Holland. But I said I've been calling him Thunderfoot Targaryen. I said he looks like a guy that should be in the Game of Thrones. He's got the blonde hair and everything. Like all he's missing is ride the dragon onto the field. Stuart, I don't think that's true. I mean, you might know a lot about the Pacific Theater part. I mean, I know a lot about it too, but the general history of World War II, I'm very familiar with. So I doubt that you know 10 times more than me about it. But it's probably, I mean, it could be comparable. I'm not saying you don't know. But if you think that France just surrendered, that's how it happened. You know. It's easy to say that that's what happened, but Jimmy said Stewie knows more about World War II than anybody, especially the German side. I know a lot about that too, because I said I've studied my whole life because I was like, I don't understand how this could happen. But now I totally understand how it happens. Because I said Trump is not Hitler, but he used all the Hitler tricks. It's the same shit. You know, bullshit culture shit and turn everybody against each other to say that there's an enemy from outside who's fucking you up. And we gotta get them. It's like, it's all the same shit. We fought for it over and over and over because we're not that smart. Blue Apollo says, me 3. I said after watching that guy, the Denmark guy, I was like, that guy, I said, they got a real chance. That guy's big and strong. It's like, you just kick the ball in there. If he's around there, he's going to kick it in there. He hit it in with his head. That's like, because he's taller and stronger than everybody. You jump up higher, but hit it with his head. You can't stop him. It's like, you can't try to body him out of the way because he's big and strong. I don't know a lot about soccer, but I know that. It's like that's a guy I said, it was just like, just keep kicking the ball in there, and as long as he's in there, you're gonna have a chance. That game that just happened, I was dozing, and I woke up, caught the end of it, but they played 0-0 all the way to the end, and then Spain scored that goal right at the very end. And I didn't understand what happened because the guy fell down, and it looked like there was a penalty, or they were going to call a penalty, right? And everybody kind of stopped. And then the guy just got up and kicked the ball to the other guy, and everybody was like, oh, shit. And then he just ran through them all and scored a goal. You're like, what the fuck? They like okey doked them. Stewart says, the Germans used blitzkrieg, a new tactic to overrun France. The tanks defeated France. Yes, I know. I understand how it happened. But they only gave up half the country. The other half was still ran by France. And France still controlled the parts of Africa where we went to Africa. And that's how we got a foothold down there. Like, most people forget about that part of it. It's like the French didn't just surrender. Like they got fucking overrun. And the British weren't able to help them. They were lucky to get out. They fucking had to run all of their troops to Dunkirk or whatever and throw them all on fucking ships, or the war would have been over right then. There was many times it came real close to Nazis just winning, Strokes of luck and bad decisions by Hitler that cost Germans the war. I think that he tried to go too far too fast. If he would have stopped, once he had France, it would have just stopped and entrenched himself in all these territories that they had conquered, and then started going out farther again. I don't know if anybody could have stopped him, I said. But he was fucking impetuous and stupid. He's like Trump. He thinks he knows everything. It's like, just like this in Iran. Everybody told him not to do it. They told him it was stupid. They told him that they would close the Strait of Hormuz. They told him that it was a pipe dream to think that he could just drop some bombs and kill the Ayatollah and that the regime would just surrender. But he didn't listen to any of that. He ordered them forward. Full steam ahead. That's what Hitler did in fucking... Yeah, but Stuart, if they would have took the whole... That's not true. If they would have took the whole continent of Europe and then just took their time and built up their forces, they would have overrun England. Without the United States, for sure, they would have ran right over. No, but they fucked up again. He wanted to invade England by land, and Goering talked him out of it and told him that he could win with just the Luftwaffe. And so Hitler said, okay. And then they went and did the Battle of Britain in the air, and the fucking British Air Force fucking blew them up and held them off. And that was the beginning of the downturn for Germany. Biff said Hitler knew he couldn't win a two-front war, but it happened anyway. Yeah, right. What I'm saying is he could have just stopped once he took France and all the, all the other countries were allied with them. So they had the continent of Europe locked down. If they would have just stopped, entrenched themselves, built up their forces and armaments again, they could have taken Britain. He fucked up because he turned right around, went to Russia. This is a fucking idiot. Jimmy says, President Trump is standing next to Barack Obama. President Trump is standing next to the Patriot Front. We see the difference, right? Exactly. No, like I said, it was a combination of luck. Like I said, the British got lucky that they got their army out of Dunkirk. And then they got lucky, like I said, that Hitler decided not to invade by land and went with fucking Goering's dumb fuck Luftwaffe plan. That's what allowed them to actually also decimate a bunch of their fucking Air Force. Yes, Stuart, that is correct. Hitler and U-boats were successful until the United States got involved. That is true. Jimmy says President Bush will be the last Republican president. They need to change their name to the Socialist Republic of Trump. That's what I think is funny is Trump's running around yelling communism. And meanwhile, he's taking shares of companies. Which is the most communist thing you could do. Shaking down fucking corporations for 10% share or 15% share. That's like, hey, where's that money going? No one's ever said that. He's like, oh, you got a 10% share of Intel or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, where's that money go? No one ever thought to ask. See, we got to change a lot of laws, man, when this is over. There's a lot of things need to be made illegal. Jimmy says my family was there. Yes, my grandfather was there. World War II. He got shot in the ass. I shouldn't laugh because obviously he saw a lot of shit. Stuart, that's not capitalism. See, this is when you prove that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. The government taking stakes in private companies is not capitalism, bro. That's straight up communism. You better go read a book. Say hello. It says, the Chinese Communist Party, the vanguard of international workers. No, they're not. Biff says, that's the problem with the narcissist dictator. Couldn't be told anything. He ends up firing his top generals, including Rommel, and decided how the war would be fought. Yeah, that's true too. But that's what I'm saying. Is it was a combination of luck and bad decisions by Hitler that cost him the war. They could have won that war. The war was very close to being like that TV show. You never seen that TV show? What's that TV show called? Where it's like, what if the Nazis had won? What the war would be like? The man on the tower or something it's called? I forget. Jimmy says, you can Google my father's last name, Lau. There's less than 800 on this planet because of the SS. Yes. I was watching that today, World War II with Tom Hanks, but they were talking about that meeting that they had. That fucking Heydrich called. They went to this mansion and they had like a big fancy dinner. They're all drinking brandy and eating fancy food, but they're discussing how to create the machine that's going to kill the Jews off the face of the earth. Very sophisticatedly. And it just shows you like the psychological, I don't even know what you would call it. It's horrible what human beings could do. Jimmy says Heinrich Himmler. No, that's not true, Jimmy. I don't think so. Heydrich was running a lot of shit, but he got assassinated. That was another thing that kind of fucked it up because I said Heydrich was young, ambitious, and ruthless and smart. And he was running all of that. He set up all the machines. He set up the Holocaust, not Himmler. He did. Himmler even says in the speech afterwards that he's going to carry on the work that Heydrich started. But Himmler wasn't as good as Heydrich. So there was also a leadership void when he got assassinated. Thank God. It could have been a lot worse. But all the machinery of the Holocaust was thought up by Heydrich, or by orders from Hitler and Himmler. Stewart says the German tank brigade got stuck in mid-France while Dunkirk was filled with Allied soldiers. Yes, and that's how they were able to get out. What I'm saying is that's a stroke of luck. They were cornered on that beach. If those boats didn't come and get them out, the British army would have been wiped out right then. And they wouldn't have had nothing to fight with. Men, at least. And it would have been bad. But say hello says Stalin won World War II, and Jimmy says it's patting up. It was a combination of smashing from both sides. You know, the Russians just happened to get to Berlin first, but the Americans were right behind them on the other side. You know, they just smashed them in a pincher movement. There was nothing they could do. Once the Allies had got the beach on Normandy and got onto the continent, it was over. You know. Yes, Jimmy says, understand this. George Patton was Antifa. Yes, he was. Yes. You are correct. Like it's history is fascinating. I wish Daniele was here because he could tell us about a lot of stuff that we don't know. And if you don't listen to it and you haven't, listen to my friend Daniele's podcast, History on Fire. But if you haven't listened to Dan Carlin, you should really listen to Dan Carlin too. It's called Hardcore History, and he says deep dives on all this shit. He does a whole like fucking 8 or 10 hour thing about World War One. He tells the war from the beginning to the end. And he covers most everything that you would want to know about it. Say hello. It says Western Front only contained a small portion of Wehrmacht forces. Yes. Jimmy says, when did being anti-fascist become a bad thing in America? Since Trump. Since Trump. I discovered a new podcast, which is interesting, called My Fake History. I can't remember the name of the guy. So the guy who does his name Sebastian something. He was on Daniele's private podcast or private thing where he does interviews sometimes with people, and they were doing an interview. Biff says, my mom was a teenager growing up in Nazi Germany. Luckily, her family was in a small rural town that wasn't much of a target. But as Hitler spoke on the radio about the war's victory, she saw the B-17s. Yeah, right, exactly. But that's just like the Trumpers. Same thing. They'll tell you that the sky is fucking green. You know, it's like they lie with impunity, just like Hitler and Nazis. They tell you that, everything's great. We just won a great victory. But why are the Allied bombers flying over? Stewart says the Russians wanted revenge. They raped the women in Germany and executed people with no accountability. Sure, but do you know what they did in Russia? No, I'm not saying it's right. But you can't tell that story without saying what the Germans did first. Germans did their share of fucking raping, pillaging, killing. Killed millions of people. Lined them up, shot them. Whole towns. You know, so the Russians aren't saints, no, but the Germans aren't either. And the revenge, I guess that's what I mean. If you're just a regular person in Germany, you ain't had nothing to do with any of that. Here comes the Russians over the hill, and they got all these grudges they're going to take out on you. And this is the problem with human beings. Dakota says, Maine Senator candidate Graham Plattner allegedly sexually assaulted a woman he once dated. Yes, I saw it. No, I don't support him, Dakota. And he ain't going to be around now. He's going to suspend his campaign. And two, I said for a long time, and maybe you don't watch this show, he's a bad candidate. He was a bad candidate with good policies. People are voting for the policies in the hope what he's talking about, but the guy himself, not good. That's what they were talking about now. It's like, what are they going to put in that chick who was running against him who no one really wants or likes? Or are they going to find somebody who has the policies that he has and put him in? Because there's a law that says as long as he suspends his campaign by July 13th, the Democrats can put whoever they want in the spot. So now it becomes who takes the spot because he ain't going to make it. And he shouldn't. I'm not going to sit here and say that I support him, and I haven't. So you can apologize anytime you want. You can go back to the old episodes and you'll see that I didn't stick up for this guy. I said he's a problem. He's going to be a problem. Jimmy says, is Stewie talking about Russia or the United States? Jimmy says, well, see, that's the other part. Jimmy says every synagogue has its own library about our history. Right. And a lot of that stuff got burned in Germany. Bad. They're like, she can't just become the senator for Maine, bro. Dakota, they got to find somebody that lives in Maine. She don't live in Maine. Well, you think they're gonna get her an apartment? You guys are too focused on the people themselves. This is where we're at. This is why we're where we're at. It doesn't matter about the people. Don't you get that? It matters about the ideas and the fucking policies. That's why people were voting for Grant Plattner, because they believed in his ideas and his policies, even though he's a shit human being. And they tried to fucking Jedi mind trick themselves into, well, the Republicans accept Trump. And so, and my point is, no, you can't lower your standards just because they did too. We should be the people of morals and standards and ethics and all that shit. We should hold people to a higher account. Stewart says, why do Democrats hate Jews so much? Seriously, I need to understand. What are you talking about? Criticizing the government of Israel is not hating Jews. I have two very loyal Jewish viewers who are here almost every fucking show, Stuart. So I don't hate Jews. One, and two, I'm not a Democrat. But three, you can criticize the government of Israel and their actions. It doesn't make you anti-Semitic. That's how they shut down the discussion. Don't you get that? That's how they invalidate your argument without actually listening to what you fucking say. As soon as you start to say Netanyahu's an asshole, they go, he's anti-Semitic. Biff says the Germans could have friends with the Russians who hated Stalin, but the Germans were taught to believe they were a superior race and slaves were inferior. They killed women and children. Yes. That's what I was saying. He said, oh, the Russians were horrible. They came in there. And, it's like, well, yeah, it was horrible. And they did do a lot of horrible shit. But you can't tell that story, like I said, without telling what the Germans did in Russia first. And that's why they were all ginned up and wanted that revenge. Because the Germans killed whole villages of fucking people, rounded them up. That's where all that shit comes from, the stories of that Putin says about the Ukrainians, because a lot of shit happened in Ukraine. There were people in Ukraine who were trapped between the communist Stalin and Hitler. And the people that were trying to get away from Stalin, when the Germans first came, they were like, hey, yeah, we could use this as the way to fucking defeat Stalin, finally get out from under his thumb, So of course, they sided with them. I'm sure a lot of them were like, oh, shit, this was what I bargained for. It's making a deal with fucking, like I said, it's like Lando Calrissian on making the deal with Darth Vader, same thing. It's like, oh, it seems better at the time that this is going to help you in some way, but it's like, it's not going to help you. Matter of fact, they said now Putin's still using that against them. Jimmy says, I'm an American Jew. I can't find Israel on the American map. Right, exactly. Patriot Front Stewie. We know who hates you. Us, you. I don't think Stewie's in the Patriot Front. I could be wrong. Although we do know now that he's not a bot. He is a person. Jimmy says, we know what these fake Republicans are trying to say. Antifa is their new word for Jew. Well, I don't know if it's even just that. It's their word for anybody who thinks leftists, who is not hard right. Milky Way says mega BS. Yes. There's a lot of mega BS. Like I said, the gaslight. So that's what the whole thing is. That's why I said. So they're like, Antifa's the ones you need to worry about. But really, in the meantime, fucking, I said the Nazis are marching openly down the street. They don't say nothing about that. You know why? Because that's their fucking voters. That's like, you want to criticize their own voters. That's like, Stewart, he's a fucking American. How many times you been here? He lives in Boston and he works at the fucking power plant. Stewart, he just talks shit. Like I said, he don't know what he's talking about. Although he did seem to know a little bit about World War II, so that's cool. We watch History Channel. That's like, I've literally read about 500 books about World War II. Jimmy says, and not to mention all the documentary films and shit. Biff says, I heard Stalin starved 32 million Ukrainians by taking their grain and farm products to self-industrialization. Most Ukrainians had little or nothing to eat, especially in the harsh winters. Yes, and that's why, like I said, that's why when the Nazis came over the hill, they were like, yes, we'll side with you, we help you, because fucking Stalin was killing them. But then now they say, oh, Putin says, there's Nazis in the Ukraine. It's like, yeah. Again, it's a complicated story that you can't just tell one side of the story. You have to hear the whole thing. There's a reason why they sided with the Nazis, and it wasn't because they were Nazis or National Socialists. It's because they felt it was in their fucking self-interest. Blue Pile says, have a good day, Bruce. Gotta give my black coworkers a ride because I'm a good person. See what I mean? And why are you saying that? I'm not saying, I'm saying, obviously you like these people, right? Blue Pile says, I'm kind of joking. Have a good day, though. What, that you're a good person? I think you're better than you give yourself credit for. That's what I think. You wouldn't keep coming back here if I wasn't fucking, interested in you in some way about learning how to be a fucking human being. More well-rounded, like I said. Jimmy Meyer says, Trump is BB's personal little... I wish I knew some Hebrew cuss word. But I don't. But see, all of these things, yes, Milky Way says Netanyahu has a collar on Trump, and that's true, he does, to a certain extent. But like I said, they ran their fucking cards out. They had to stop the war as they did because they got to get the strait going, and they got to get oil because they were going to run out of oil. Like I was saying on this show, like the clock was running. When we run out of oil, it's a big time problem. Stewart says, I bought some work shorts at Sam's Club. They were $10 a pair. Looked at the label where they were made. Nobody in this chat would ever guess where they were made. I was surprised. I don't know, maybe, if you're surprised, probably somewhere in the United States, like something weird like North Carolina or some shit. I mean, in the South, right? The whole textile industry used to be in the South. Were they made out of cotton? Georgia, perhaps. Where were they made, Jimmy? Or Stewart, I'm sorry. Jimmy Meyer says, Nazi Gentile. But even, you got to admit, Jimmy, it is true what they say. Like, human beings suck. There were collaborators, Jewish collaborators, to help them. He says the country. Oh. So was it United States then? Because, that's what I was trying to say is in the United States. But I was just trying to get more specific. But, Jimmy says, how do you spell debt wrong? that Hebrew is it's like I don't know. It's not that far away from Arabic. Doesn't look like when you write it out, and then you can see it. It says no. How about Mexico, Canada? It's like, obviously, it wasn't in Asia. You wouldn't be surprised. Or maybe it's Vietnam. Something weird like I said. It's weird that we have come all the way back around, and we actually have a functioning relationship with Vietnam. Vietnam actually makes things, and we buy them. We've repaired our diplomatic relationship. Jimmy says Stewie thinks that Israel, the Madagascar. That's weird. You think that has to do with the Strait of Hormuz? That they were like, oh, we can't get where we usually get our regular shit, so we got to find some other shit. And they're like, where can you get it? Madagascar! I always watch on Sundays. If you don't watch it, you should watch Fareed Zakaria. His show is wonderful and very informative. It's not partisan in any way. It's an information show like news used to be, where he just talks about the facts of what's going on, and he has really smart guests. I mean, and they give takes, but they're not like hardcore partisan takes. There's real analysis of what's going on and real guesses of what's going to happen. But anyway, they were talking about how this whole war and the Strait of Hormuz being closed has just proven how resilient the global economy can be. Whereas they figured out ways to fill things, from all over different places to keep it from collapsing. Now, it's not a way to run the economy forever, but they were able to keep everything afloat. Jimmy says, I have fun with Stewie. He gives me an Andy Kaufman state of mind. Right, exactly. But anyway, we were talking about how resilient the global economy is, and I was sitting there thinking to myself again, it's like it just proves how stupid your isolationist idea is, that you could shut yourself off from the rest of the world. It's dumb. The tariff thing was dumb. Pissing off all your allies, dumb. The world is a global thing now, and we can't go back. There is no going back. You need the global supply chain to supply all the fucking things. And right now, they said there's not enough chips for this AI build out, so the chip price is fucking through the roof. They're fucking themselves up, But like I said, isolationist policies are what do you want to say? They're outdated, they're outmoded. The world is a global place. I like that you keep coming back here, Stuart. I do. Like I was telling some guy that he came. You weren't. I don't think you were here, but this guy came on and he stayed the whole time. He never said anything. He just tried to insult me, like you did in the beginning. And I was telling him, I was like, hey man, there's people who come here that try to do that, and eventually I win them over, and now they're regular viewers. You're one of them. But the point being, globalization is out the box. The world economy is global now, and every country needs the other countries. You can't survive on your own the way it's set up now. We need things from other places. And just being an isolationist and saying you want to shut yourself off from everything is that detriment to your country. You're not going to succeed. Meanwhile, no one's said anything about Cuba. Are we still blockading Cuba? Is the power still off? No one even talks about it. It's like it doesn't even exist. What's up with that? Hard to even find any information. No, we had full-on blockade. Do we still have that going? I don't know. I mean, look into it, I guess. But it's fucked up how fast we could just forget like major giant things because Trump fucking does so much shit, flooding the zone. He flooded the zone so much he lost the whole country. It's fucked up, man. You guys think that. And like I said, all this stuff is going on, and he cares about the fucking football. What do you mean, Stuart? No, that's what I'm saying. A huge chunk of the mega people are isolationists. They want us to be not global. They're against globalization because they think that just brings all the immigrants. That's what I think. It's all tied together in their dumb fucking like logic. Of course, it's not logical, but it doesn't make it. I'm sure the dumb fucking idiot in the woods will be ranting about it tomorrow. Jimmy says there's nothing you can do to me that Joe Biden hasn't already done. It's just like yesterday, the 4th of July. He wanted to shoot off all the fireworks. Yeah, this is the biggest fireworks display ever in the history of the world. And it was pretty for a minute. And then so many fucking fireworks were going off at the same time. It just looked like a nuclear explosion was going on. And it wasn't like visually appealing in any way. And he's sleeping in the box. That's like, it's a perfect metaphor for this piece of shit administration. Meanwhile, I had to fish all this shit out of the reflecting pool, toxic fireworks, debris. And then when they did that, you know what they found? Algae's back. Now there's a fence around it. Now who's he going to blame the algae on now? You guys just continue to make excuses for this fucking idiot. Jimmy says, can't you see Trump watching it? They're doing it to me what they did to Tony Montana. Let's invade Cuba. No, I think that's Marco Rubio whispering in his ear. I think Marco Rubio's always had a fantasy in his mind about overthrowing the Castro government. And he knows that Trump is an easily manipulated fool. So I think that's what it was, really. Like I said, when the guy you don't see, right? You know, you see Vance, you see all these guys out there. You never see Rubio out there, hardly ever do you, right? That means he's the worst nut licker of all. He's literally the Grimo worm tongue. Blue Power says, hey, I came back to ask you going to be live tomorrow. No, because I said in the beginning, me and Laura are going to the Reds game tomorrow. So I didn't want to rush having to do the show and then all that. Like, I just wanted to be able to have a day with Laura where we're not rushing around. So no. And I might, because I have a lot of shit going on and I'm not going to be on Saturday, I might do the show on Wednesday instead of Thursday. I think all week is fucked up because I said I'm going to the Reds game tomorrow, and then this weekend my dad is getting inducted into this old timers basketball. My dad played in this old timers basketball league for like 20 years or 25 years, and they're inducting him into this Hall of Fame thing. So I have to go there in Columbus, and so I said I'll probably do the show Wednesday and Friday instead of Thursday and Saturday. So just watch for the notification. Stewart says globalization is like the movie Idiocracy. These people are intent on dumbing people down for their own wealth. Blue Power says, sounds great. Enjoy your plans with Laura. Wish you guys a fun time. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Seriously. And you too. You too. Be safe. And they said, I'm glad you're being a good person, giving your co-workers a ride to work. Like I said, obviously you like these people. That's what I mean. Like you gotta learn to. Not everybody's asshole, man. It's like it's like white people. It's like not everybody's these Patriot Front jerk offs. You know, that's like some of us are cool. And you're true. And again, if you just stumbled upon this show today, like I said, usually I'm here Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States. I do this show live 3 times a week. But this week, my schedule is thrown off because, like I said, tomorrow I'm going to the Reds game with Laura, my girlfriend. And then, like I said, I got to go to this thing in Columbus and my dad's getting inducted to this Hall of Fame. And I think I'm going to see Bob Dylan on Friday night. So I might do the show, like I said, Wednesday night instead of tomorrow, and then Sunday instead of Saturday. So the whole thing's fucked up. And just keep your notifications on. But please like the channel, subscribe to the show if you haven't done it, and we will come back. What did I say? Wednesday. Wednesday. Everything's off. Everything's thrown off. Blue Apollo says it's crazy to because he's a racist black. He openly says he is prejudiced towards whites, which, to be honest, that's points from me for being honest. You haven't seen, but he doesn't mind taking a ride from you. That's why I said when I used to run that club, they gave me an honorary card. Yeah, they're like you're honorary. I can go places that other white people can't go. We went to go see Brother Jay from the X-Clan. I don't know if you know what the X-Clan is, but it's like an old rap group from the 80s. And they dress all in African shit. And they rap only, about blackness and about, and you're like, oh, you want to go? I want to go see the X-Clan, but I'm scared. I don't want to go. It's going to be all a bunch of militant black people there. And the guy was like, you're honorary. You'll be all right. You go with me and you'll be fine. We went. It was fine. It's like, I got the blessing. Biff says, how can you not have the view that what happens on the other side of the world can affect you in this country? With technology at its best, missiles and drones, we better worry. That's what I'm saying. Everything's interconnected now. And as technology gets stronger and stronger, like I said, you're going to need to cooperate more and more. And to strive for peace more and more, because more and more, the technology means more and more damage can be done. We're at the point of humanity's, we're like on this precipice. We're like, we have to choose like what we're going to be. Like, are we going to regress back into the fucking, animal shit like we did in the I guess you call it the 20th century, where we had 2 world wars and fucking almost destroyed the planet? Or are we going to move into, like I said, more of a Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry cooperation type fucking universe where everybody respects everybody and we work together? Blue Paul says, yes, that was the biggest red pill in politics for me, that literally every argument is intertwined with others. Yes, well, Jimmy's right about fear is the only way Republicans know how to win shit anymore. Right. That's why I said before, is that because they don't really have any real ideas. This is the problem, is you're moving into a situation where the government is still controlled by old people, that these old ideas. That's why they're yelling communist and shit, and all these things that they've always used as a fear cudgel. But see, these young kids don't know nothing about communism. Plus, these old people, like I said, they don't understand technology or any of that kind of shit. So the world is not going to change until these old people die off and these younger people take control of the government, or at least can elect leaders who are more 21st century savvy. You know what I mean? And they need to start regulating shit, even though I know Republicans hate regulation, but you see what's happening when it's not regulated. These guys are just ripping off, like this Trump account thing, right? Before I get out of here. He fired up the Trump account today, right? But you know what the Trump account is? It just gives money to, investors to invest. Well, that's true, but that's what I'm saying, though. You'd rather have these Generation X people like me getting into government than Mitch McConnell, who's literally in a fucking coma right now. At least I know how to turn on this computer and set up this show. It's a primitive understanding, but it is an understanding of how it works, you know. And then it's not even that. If you look at some of these Democrats that are coming up, they're young. They're not my age. AOC is younger than me. I'm pretty sure that guy from Michigan, he's younger than me. Mom Donnie, he's younger than me. You know, these people coming up, I said, they're going to be a different kind of the Democrat Party is going to change. What's happening right now is what happened to the Republican Party when the Tea Party rose up and kicked out all the old stale Republicans. Now, of course, they turned it into a fascist movement. But these people are going to take over the Democratic Party and turn it into a Democrat Socialist Party, which is way better. Because, like I said, we haven't tried that here. Everything else we've tried hasn't worked. So people always say, let's try something new. Well, what's wrong with democratic socialism? Let's try it. See what happens. What the fuck are you talking about? See, Stuart, you're so wrong. Some of them are stupid. Like, you know, some of these older people are stupid. I mean, the majority of people are stupid. Yes, you're right, Jimmy. The rhino is just like the Democrat, same thing. Like, oh, he's a rhino. It was like a Republican who had respect for other people. Yeah, exactly. You mean a Republican who wasn't a full-on fascist? Yes, exactly. That's what they are. Anyway, I got to get out of here. If, like I said, one more time, if you're new here, I said I usually do the show Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States. But because of the weird schedule this week, I'm probably doing it Wednesday at 6 o'clock. So just look for your notifications. But like the channel, subscribe to the show. Biff says Trump was not invited to Obama's library opening. They actually had books at his library. One of the same can be said about Trump. You see, somebody made a book and said, all the reasons why I support Donald Trump. And it was like 800 blank pages. Blue Pile says, Trump said months ago in the Fox interview, when asked about H-1B visas in the job market, he said Americans are lazy, don't want to work. Well, they're also not as educated. That's why I was saying the other day, is like we fucked ourselves because we've hollowed out our education system, and everything here is nepotistic. And you if you know somebody, you get into it to these places, whether you're skilled or not. So when they need real skills, they got to get them from another country. They all suck. But anyway, the reason that anyone's bringing up Kamala Harris is, like, again, it's not about the people. It's about the ideas. Those people don't matter. Kamala's gone. She doesn't matter. Now, if she comes back, we can start talking about her again. But the fact that you're still talking about her just proves that you're a programmed drone who says what you're fucking told. Says to me that you're not really thinking about what's really going on. When your mind has been soaked in propaganda and you're just regurgitating shit. Anyway, please like the channel, subscribe to the show. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys for watching. I love all you guys, and especially my regular viewers. And people who are new, I said, please like the channel, subscribe to the show. I'll be back later in a couple days. Thank you. Good night.
If there was something new to see, I guarantee I'd be the first to be standing there bathed in that light. Until that day, I'll keep my eyes shut tight. I do not want to pick a fight. I feel more at night. Wait another